Hey, what's up? I'm JK with Elevated Recovery, and today we're going to be talking about balance. Now, some of my clients imagine me living this super balanced life because I talk about balance and routine all the time. So they imagine this life where I have a perfect morning routine, waking up and meditating every morning on the back patio of my house, overlooking my serene Japanese Zen garden, writing in perfect calligraphy with a fountain pen on a super neat journal, then going to the gym, lifting heavy weights, after that having a healthy smoothie and a healthy meal. I then relax into a comfortable chair, I take a sip of my freshly brewed coffee, and I start off my day with my first client calls in the morning with my mind calm, serene, and ready. A perfect recovery coach with no urges, 10 years of sobriety under his belt, ready to help some people live a perfect life free of porn. Okay, I wish that my life was like that, okay? The truth is, guys, that most mornings I have to drag myself out of bed. I glare angrily at my journal. Then I sit to meditate, and sometimes my mind just runs around for the entire meditation period. I go to the gym sometimes after second guessing myself a couple of times. My friends and my family, they call me, they leave voicemails, so I'm a very introverted guy. And sometimes I just don't want to call them back and chat. I still get intense sexual urges as well, and I get them at the most inconvenient times. But I always follow through on the right decision, no matter how hard it gets. And the reason why is because over the years, I've learned that living a balanced life takes effort. And that effort keeps me recovered, and it keeps me off pornography. So I'm 10 years in, 10 years of recovery. And recovery is more than just staying away from addictive behaviors. It's also about rebuilding your life to a point where it's better than what it used to be. And this is done by rebuilding the 5 aspects of your life, which are physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual. And these 5 areas of your life are not only important for maintaining a healthy and balanced life, but are also crucial to recovery from pornography or excessive masturbation. So the mental part. Now, first we're going to talk about the mental part. The mental or cognitive aspect of our lives comprises of our ability to think and reason. So it consists of our thoughts, our beliefs, and our values. The mental aspect is actually the foundation on which your recovery is built. So when you live a life where watching porn and masturbating are just constants, they're things that happen all the time, you actually hijack your mind with your new drug, which is dopamine. And this kind of distorts your thinking capability, your ability to critically reason. Thinking becomes quite irrational, and the choices that you make become limited. Now, when you add to this values which are out of sync with reality, then you begin to actually see the terrible personal, spiritual, social, and legal problems that your porn addiction can get you into. You know, during recovery, what we do is you are taught numerous ways to rebuild this area of your mind. That's what I do when I work one-on-one with guys. One way to do this is by challenging your distorted thinking patterns and beliefs while making continuous reality checks. So as our minds become clearer, you become stronger, and you can better understand your porn and masturbation addiction. You understand that it cannot define who you are as an individual, and you also learn that you have the inner capacity to adopt new and healthier ways of looking at the world. Next is physical. Now, the physical part of your life, which includes your brain, is usually the next casualty when you're addicted to pornography or masturbation. When porn becomes a regular part of your life, it becomes dominated by triggers and cravings. So balancing your physical health actually involves learning how to take back good health and maintain stability in your life through physical care. Now, physical exercise, working out, is important to recovery, When you get into the habit of exercising, you actually begin to feel how much it energizes you in ways that you had never imagined. A lot of people think that the more you exercise, the more tired you get, but it's actually the opposite. And for myself, exercise is an absolutely integral part of my life. I need it to stay balanced. The next is emotional. Now, the emotional area of our life is about feeling and experiencing life in deep ways. Okay, so this is the part of us that seeks meaningful contact with others. When you live a life without control over your porn use, the truth becomes lost or blurred as the different lies you've been telling yourself and the lies porn has been telling you, the false justifications you give yourself. As you start creating these things, the truth does become blurred. Porn addiction requires some form of deception, all right? This means that you have to lie to maintain your addiction. And whenever you try to quit and you find yourself relapsing, notice that it always begins with some form of dishonesty or lying to yourself, you know? So how do we now experience life more deeply? This actually starts with transformation, a complete change in character. When our values and attitudes change, we change by changing. And we build up an emotional part of ourselves which strengthens and transforms us. Next is social. Now, the social aspect consists of activities which promotes wellness in three main areas of our life. And these are financial, our career lives, and our family lives. Now, we are all social creatures and we need the comfort and the support of healthy relationships with other people before we can feel truly good about ourselves. And many guys who are hooked on pornography spend way too much time alone and have a problem building these bonds with other people. When we get caught up in porn addiction or other sorts of compulsive behaviors, we become part of this crazy addictive culture that we live in. And unfortunately, our culture has a tendency to build a foundation on shared addictive behavior. But recovery is about building new caring relationships which are actually positive, which support us when we're trying to stay off from pornography and which enhance our well-being. I talk to a lot of guys and they're like, well, I want to be your friend. I'm like, I would love to be your friend, but it's more important for me to hang out with you and work with you until you can get to a point where you can make friends and you can build your own social circle. There's another part of this social aspect, which is the career and the financial aspect of our lives. Now, career means meaningful work and financial security because you need financial security to support your recovery. And the reason why is that when all other parts of your life have collapsed because of your addiction, your bad behavior, your out of control behavior, being in a good place financially allows you to build up the other areas. So maybe you're able to afford to go to a treatment center or to afford coaching or to join a gym or to engage in some recreational activities that actually cost money. And next is spiritual. Now this aspect is very important because it answers the question, who am I and why am I here? And this doesn't have to be your religion or something that you read in a book. And if it is, that's fine as well. But it is something that gives us a sense that we are part of something greater than us. And there's no doubt about it. When you're addicted to porn, you lose your purpose in life. You lose your moral compass, and this eventually runs you off the right path and into a ditch. And rebuilding this area of your life helps you discover an inner path. Sometimes it begins by simply performing acts of kindness, because the response from acts of kindness alone make you feel good internally. So if you're confused about, well, how do I become spiritual? Start by just being kind to others, especially strangers, people whom you don't know. Spirituality provides hope, it provides support, it provides comfort during your most trying times. And it can literally transform your moments of isolation and self-pity into peace. So I want to help you make sense of your life again. And I believe that you can regain balance in these 5 areas of your life. We all deserve a happy life, whether we are struggling with pornography addiction, regardless of all the things you've done, and regardless of how you feel about yourself. If you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you think you're a bad person and you feel like no one would love you, and if you feel like you're not deserving of love because of the things that you've done, I want to tell you that that's not true. That's just what you're telling yourself. You do deserve a happy life. You are deserving of love. And that's the message I want to leave you with today. So that's it for today. I'm JK, your brother in this struggle. Listen, what I'm going to do for the next week is that I'm going to open up my free coaching sessions for the next week. So if you want to get on a free call with me and talk about your problems, there's no obligation to get on this call. I just happen to have some time next week. Visit the link elevatedrecovery.com/apply, put in your information, and we'll get on a chat next week. Have a great day.